Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Kuzilny. Tough times never last, but tough people do. You know, we've been doing the show for many, many years. Why, you ask? I've been working around the criminal justice for over 30 years now, and so many people suffering over all those years, you know, and not just in court, but just in life. And I think it's always great to have people on to inspire us, and this is the lovely Mary.
Thank you for watching. Hello, Michael. Who do we have on today?
We've got the great man, Terry Hunter. Now, Terry Hunter isn't the usual criminal. He's, you could call him a Robin Hood who went a bit further, 12 years behind bars at most of Australia's prisons. So which prisons have you been at?
Oh, all around Australia except for Melbourne and Northern Territory.
Why didn't you go there? You wanted to see them all, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. I've better go back there and do them. I've done the Total Royal Tour. I've saved the king, you know? Yeah.
Now, I was trying to tell viewers, and I think from what I get, he wasn't an armed robber, he wasn't into drugs, he wasn't into any other dirty stuff, but he was helping people get loans and went a bit further. Yeah. That's right, isn't it? You're like a broker.
Yeah. I got. If I couldn't get you on, no one could get you on.
Yeah.
That's what it come down to. I was the last chance dance.
Yes.
Yeah, so the last chance to get your mortgage.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of them now are still going well, and a lot of them have paid their properties off.
Isn't that amazing?
There is a couple that fell by the wayside.
Yes.
And of course, with the mortgage lenders, you go from a come-in spinner to an exit manager, and then they change their personality and they want to get rid of them. And I got caught out for doing a few naughty documents.
Oh, naughty documents. So you're helping people.
Yeah.
So he's helping people, viewers, but he's doing a few naughty documents, and you reckon about $200,000 a day sometimes?
Yes. Yeah, and it is, of course I helped myself at the same time because the fees were hefty to get on, because you got a situation that you should never get. You shouldn't get it. But I'd get it for you. I'd give you your mortgage, you'd get your property, sometimes with no deposit, through the normal banking, not predatory lending, not like solicitors' money, high interest rates and all that business. The robs, they're the robbers. This was just through the normal, and away you'd go.
Terry Hunter, what was prison like?
Oh, well, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's, no, it's all. The food's horrible, but the only good thing it does do, you do lose weight, because the food, I can't eat the food. And I was a heavy smoker. The last lot done a good thing to me, although I campaigned to keep the smokes in, but I gave up cigarettes. Now, people say to me nowadays, geez, I'd go in there and do 10 years to give away the cigarettes. I don't smoke anymore. I can't believe it.
Where was the last stint, Terry? And where was it?
It was all over Sydney. They moved you from jail to jail, all over Sydney, and for 4.5 years, the minimum sentence. Yeah. And Long Bay, the whole lot of them, Cessnock.
And viewers, I asked Terry, I said, Terry, you go to prison and stuff, you go, yeah, I don't like this, you know, being stuck in groups and stuff, you know, the food's not too bad. And when you get out, I said, don't you just love the freedom, you know? Don't you just love the freedom? How come you do it again? And Terry said, the dollar's got no conscience.
Yeah, the dollar does have no conscience. You can say to a squarehead, a John and Jenny, and if the money's big in there, they'll be in it. I say they won't be, but they will be. The dollar is very strong. It's like a prick with it's got no conscience, a standing prick. That's it. The dollar is an extremely strong thing.
And viewers, Mary and I were walking down Cronulla, and you know, everybody these days, they wear this social mask. How are you? I'm great. I'm this. I'm that. They want to tell you, but Terry just says it the way it is. He's going, yep, this is who I am. And he was telling us that funny story, Mary. I said, did you ever live the lavish lifestyle where you had, drugs, sex, and rock and roll? And he bought this big place in Oyster Bay, lots of bedrooms, and he had some strippers move in, like Hugh Hefner in a way, you know. Yeah. Not putting fun into crime, but he made it fun, and they were pole dancers.
Yeah, pole dancers, that's right. They were pole dancers, mainly come from interstate, and of course it was just the dollar, and they did pay big rentals on the roofs, but they got looked after like the Queen. They got their food done, the washing done, everything, and the place was nice, and away they went. And
you had servants come in. You said you had servants. You lived the life.
Yeah. We had the housemaids, the chef, qualified chefs.
Yes.
But it cost. They did pay big money, but they were earning big money.
Can you take us back in time and how did it all start?
Well, I mainly left school and did do apprentice greenkeeping back in them days in the late 60s, the sun and the surf, and then just ended up setting up a landscaping business and then just went from there and then to the nightclub, at a bordello, brothel, and just wherever, and then you play up a bit because you get stuck with a bit of cash flow, tightens up, and you do anything. And then I went into the mortgage business. And that's when all the turmoil started.
So Terry is telling us how he, amongst the many other things he's done, he bought himself a brothel, and he had business meetings with the ladies, and he said, "Listen, ladies," he said, "men are like $100 notes on legs."
Yeah, $100 notes with arms and legs, and your duty is to extract as much off them as you possibly can. Drain the bank cards, credit cards, and do your best, and tell them anything. Tell them they're lovely, touch their ears, do anything. And that did get the income up for all, because they didn't have like sales meetings.
Terry Hunter, he's not a armed robber, not a drug person, and certainly not a pedophile, but he was helping people get loans, and if anybody could do it, it was Terry Hunter. But then he thought, I might as well have the lifestyle as well, because he worked out in those days. The banks didn't like him, but sometimes he'd make up to 200 grand a day, and that's when the fun began. Yeah. Until next time he caught, and they came knocking on the door. The police came knocking. They said, "Mr. Hunter, back to court," and you represented yourself a few times.
Yeah, did. As the Mackenzie friend and others as well, because lawyers can't, a lot of times they
tell you stories.
They tell you stories. They sell,
Dreams.
So yeah, they sell dreams and...
And what is a Mackenzie's friend for anyone that doesn't know?
Oh, that was just back in them days where legal aid will only take you on if there's a real threat and you can qualify for it, of jail. If there's not, well, they won't do it. And then they were spinning around, they didn't know what to do and not real good on the mouth. So the Mackenzie friend would just do a letter for them and give that up, you know what I mean? To a person that's far moved from reality, the magistrate, mate, or judges, they're a lot of it, they're removed, they never lived that life. They got no understanding, little understanding, and that's what I would do, the Mackenzie friend, just save the lawyers.
How can someone become a Mackenzie's friend?
Anyone.
So the magistrates didn't like you, did they?
Oh, I hated me.
Because as lawyers, we've got all these rules and regulations and compliance bodies, but you just kept on going until they said, dismissed.
Yeah. I just keep on going and drive them into the wall. You're driving that mad. They just, what's this bloke want? Just give it to him. That's the only way we can stop this. And so I keep the verbal. I just lay the verbal on thick. I would verbal it sometimes too, just thick. And that's the way to stop it. I got barred from the local court around here called Sutherland back a long time ago from the building, not the courthouse. The registrar barred me. Well, that was all well and good. You can have your ego trip, but the Attorney General got me back in. You can't be barred from the Queen's Court. It's a people's court. It's not, So that's what happens. But you're driving that mad. A lot of times you do just get what you want so they can get rid of you. Because you're not a lawyer, see?
And I think, viewers, Terry Hunter knows more about the law than most lawyers out there because he's experienced it and he knows all the bullshit that goes with it.
Yes.
Yes.
The school fees, that you experience is the best teacher. The school fees are high. That's a problem. The school fees are very high. But because you make errors and you could lose your liberty, whatever may happen. But experience is the best teacher in life.
Yes.
That's for sure. So that's what the Mackenzie friend did. It was just a friend of the court.
People would say, was he remorseful? Every time he kept on going to court, was he remorseful?
No. Not at all. People just, if they do naughty things and upset the king, they only get upset because they get caught. There's no remorse.
And did you ever think at any time, I'm going to get caught someday?
Oh, you always, because you're doing something too many times, too often. You've got to come undone. Yeah, of course. Yeah, part of the occupational hazard, you know, when doing such, when actually hands-on, when getting the biggest pay packet at that, you know.
Can you picture this, Terry Hunter? You're having a nice meal, maybe in the Playboy mansion in Oyster Bay, you know, the girls are dancing around their poles or maybe just in the pool. And you're just about to eat this beautiful steak or the lobster and you hear this knock on the door, bang, 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 bang. And you know by the knock,
Yeah.
it's the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's it.
What would you do in an instance like that?
Well, I would just, well, I wouldn't try to escape.
Open
I'd
the
just
door?
go. Yeah, open the door. And
You'd open the door?
Yeah, and just go.
And when you go to jail, is everything confiscated? Do you lose all the money? What do you do when you come
lose
out?
everything. Yeah.
Where to from there when you come out of jail? You
Yeah,
start all over again?
You go from a penthouse to a shit house. You can't be much straighter than that, a penthouse to a shit house. And that's what happens. And people there, sometimes they lose it with forfeiture to the crown, King Charles takes it, proceeds of crime, or just you go in and it's very hard with humans to rely on anyone to be able to keep the shows going. They're just humans you can't. Yeah, so you lose, it all goes down the river. So that's another penalty you pay. So you come out, yeah, as I say, from a penthouse to a shit house.
In prison, Terry, any trouble or no, not for you because you got a no trouble.
There is problems. They do have problems in there because everyone wants to be an alpha male. They like to think they're someone, but sadly, you know, no brains, no pain. They're not. But they got this. They love this tough image. You know, they got little, you know, tough stickers all over them, and it's very sad. But yeah, there is silly things like that.
Yeah, the gangsters. Yeah.
It's just part and parcel, isn't it? It's like pedigree animals to just mongrels. You can't put mongrels with pedigrees. I mean, you couldn't bring a whole heap of them into here. They'd be into your fridge, they'd eat your fridge up, they'd take everything out, and that's sadly the way they are. It's mental. That's what I'm no psychiatrist, forensic psychiatrist, but mental illness is enormous in the criminal justice system. It is enormous.
Terry still helps people where there's a Mackenzie friend and trying to help this guy with the mental health compensation.
Like Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Like a Robin Hood.
Yeah. Because I do feel mental health, it's sad to watch. It's horrible. Yeah. Because they just don't know.
Terry, can you explain, like, you're sitting on the dinner table one time at your palatial mansion there on the water, and the girls are there, and it's Saturday night's dinner time, you know?
Yes.
And you've got, you know, the businesses, you've got the brothel making good money and everything, and how did you feel?
On top of the world, basically.
Yeah?
When it was going good, oh, geez, you feel like you're on cloud nine. I feel like you're totally just, yeah, that's it. That's how you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever go on holidays?
All the time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Oh, mainly Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise, wintertime, Cairns, regularly.
So you were never a workaholic? You just sort of do a few deals every now and then?
Yeah, do a few deals and that's it, just...
Did you have any real mates? Because it's hard to...
No.
No?
You know, no, I don't have friends at all. Still don't have friends. I'm a misanthrope, but I can't stand people. No, I don't trust people. You can't trust them. You'd be a fool to trust them. A trusting fool. And a misanthrope, that means a hater. Oh, well, I suppose, yeah. You just don't, not fond of people at all.
Misanthrope?
Misanthrope is a fellow human that hates and despises every other human on the planet, regardless of race, creed or colour. Can't stand them.
So you're a misanthrope?
I'm a misanthrope. A self-confessed misanthrope. It's unfortunate, isn't it? But that's the way you just get that way. Because you just know the lies, cheats and thieves. You can't trust anything that comes out of their mouth.
Terry Hunter, if you just join us, he hasn't done Melbourne, but he's spent time at the at different prisons around the world. But one thing you might not have known about him, besides being a broker and getting people loans, he was a manager for the Easybeats. And how did that fit into the life of crime?
Yeah, well, that fitted in with a hotel running on behalf of a bank who was mortgagee in possession. And on Sundays we'd run 60s music. I like the 60s, obviously, because of age. And so I put that in the paper for Stevie Wright, used to be the lead singer of a band called the Easybeats. And he was mad. Well, I didn't know that. early had problems, but he come down to the hotel and asked the boat, is this person looking for me? Because he thought it was some drug deal or something, because he had a full-on heroin habit, full on. So we got hold of him, and I thought, oh, heroin. And Donny Sutherland, another bloke, used to work on the TV in the music. And he rang me up and said, mate, this bloke, he's hot, but he's hard to handle. Like, no one can handle him. So anyway, I took it on, put him in the room, and it was a very big, it was hard to handle.
Oh, this was at your pub, was it?
Yeah.
Where was the pub?
Bexley North Hotel.
And you had live music there?
Yeah, big entertainment section with that live
At the
music.
same time you had the brothel, or?
No.
Different?
Yeah, different time. The brothel was before. So that's what we did. So I had to go off the heroin. The only way I could get off the heroin, we got a lady that specialised, a girl specialised it, which I thought, oh, well, we're down to the last cent. I mean, he was into me for 110 grand. That was, and I thought, he was willing to give it a go. So we got him off the heroin by locking him in the room. She locked him in, and she withdrew the heroin, just cold turkey, no methadone.
So you rebuilt his career?
Yeah, and then we done the original Easybeats concert.
Wow.
The original around Australia.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. And he died of natural causes after having a near 20-year full-on a big heroin habit of natural causes. So,
Amazing. So you went along to all these gigs?
Yeah. You set the thing up for it.
Did you become good mates?
Oh, well, friends as much as friends could be, because he was a manipulator.
Was he?
He was what you could only. Well, the truth of the matter is, he was a heroin addict. Well, and even when he wasn't, he was just a manipulator. He would try his best to manipulate just to get anything for money. So you had to straighten him up. It was very difficult because the heroin is like the bunny. It just overtakes everything.
Did you then advertise, say, look, we've got this great new band, or everyone knew him already, or?
Yeah. Well, when they found out who it was, because he hadn't seen girls for years, they all started sniffing around him.
They were lining up outside?
Yeah, lining up. Yeah, lining him up. So that introduced him to that. And then when I got the lady, the girl that just cut him off and got him on the... that's it. You can't get out the door. Couldn't get it. Took the liberty, which is naughty, but there was only way it could be done.
Oh.
And he got off the heroin.
Oh, you had him stuck inside?
Yeah, he locked in a room.
That's unreal.
I know, it is. And then that...
And he was so lenient or soft, he just went along with it?
Well, he went along with it because she was as tough as nails. She wouldn't let him out.
Who was this, one of your workers?
No, a lady that a person put me onto that he costs a lot of money but can break the heroin cycles or whatever cycle. But she's as tough as nails, and she locked him in. He couldn't get out, so it's like me with cigarettes. The withdrawal and he got him off it.
So during that time, did you play did you let him out of his room and he played?
No, we just
Friday
didn't.
My Mind
No,
in
she said
between?
you got to keep away from us for 8 days, and at the end of the 8 days, I'll hand you back over, and then. Well, it was a lot of money too. It was $8,000 up front, and another $8,000 3 months later. He will be off the heroin, and he was off the heroin. So it just goes to show all this nonsense they go on with rehabilitation centres. The best thing is just lock them in. The best rehabilitation centres is prisons. They're the best because you lock them in and give them nothing. If they don't go in on a program, they get nothing and they get off the heroin. Prison is the best rehabilitation centre. So they half adopted my way of doing it because they just lock them in now. They don't cuddle them anymore. If you're not on the program, you're down to go on the methadone in prison. You're just locked in and you withdraw and you spew and poo at the same time. All that horrible stuff, but you will get off it.
There must be a special secret Terry Hunter is keeping from us, because most people are so down, they haven't been in prison, they're never smiling, they're whinging about stuff. And Terry's done all these terms and everything, but he's still the most cheerful blokes in the mall in Cronulla. So
What is the secret?
you're still laughing, brother.
Yeah, you still laugh. Laugh the world laughs with you, cry and you cry away.
You laugh at the good things, but also the challenges, don't you?
Yeah, you just laugh.
Yeah.
It's not that serious, this world.
What projects are you working on now?
Oh, well, we've got a poor bugger that's being, well, it's clearly evident, has been robbed by a lawyer, which is now, and it's supposed to be through the public trustees. So we've got that to rectify that and sort him out. And then there's another person that's got a heroin habit, trying to sort the...
You care for people,
out.
Terry, don't you? You care for people.
Well,
You don't like people, but you care for
Yeah,
them.
you care within reason, just trying to make them... You know, like Donald Trump, he's doing the right thing. He's making America great again. You got to do what you got to do. But I know Australians just say, oh, it's all too hard, it's horrible. But yeah, so you try. I mean, there's a person wasting away on the heroin, try to rectify that a bit, and the other person's been, got no idea, he's oblivious, being robbed by the lawyer, which was in the paper the other day. I only picked up the prices because I read the post. Hello, yeah, and that's it. So that's what you do. So you just rectify it. Just try to put it right.
There's probably a lot of sort of retired bank managers out there, or even current ones, who know the name Terry Hunter. And because can you just go back into the modus operandi of back in the old days? You get a land title, you photocopy
Yes.
it, sign it over to your name.
Yeah, the land title, you have to have a printer on the side. They would print up the title deed, and it looks very new, in the name that the property's in, and then you get the force ID back in the good old days, and go and hock the property, and big money, first mortgage, do all that, and take the lot.
So people could be living in their house, having dinner again on a Saturday night, having that crayfish, the Verve champagne, and all of a sudden the new owners move in.
Yeah, that's it. they would get the house back.
Get out! This is our house. Who sent you, Terry Hunter?
Exactly, and they would end up getting the house back because the bank would have to, fulfil their error. Oh. Yeah, because it was.
But how did you benefit?
Oh, you in on a percentage of the.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, if your mortgage you did for like 600, well, just cop 150. That's all right. You get a drink for 150,000.
But no one actually lost their homes.
No, because the bank would have to come to the party and rectify their errors. So yeah, the errors, and then now it's all tightened up.
Did the banks get to know you?
Oh yeah, the banks hated me. At one stage I couldn't open a bank account.
Terry, was it, I'm just imagining you in court, the charge sheet, obtaining a financial advantage by deception or something like that?
That's it.
Was it always the same charges?
Always the same.
Always the same?
Mainly always the same. But for a lot of times, getting the business for another person assisting,
So it's almost the same. So sometimes I represent people, sometimes they have 1 page, 2 page, sometimes 6 or 7 pages of priors. You got a bit of a book?
Yeah, a book.
A book?
Yeah, a book.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now no book, the book's closed?
Well, no book, yeah, I'm just packing up ready to die. You get to age in life, you've got to wake up to yourself. I'm not wake up, well, wake up to yourself, I suppose.
The dollar's got no conscience, but what about if Mary said, I know these people, they live in a $30 million house on the harbour. I don't really like them. She goes, I can get the title.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
I think I have to give that serious consideration. Because the dollar does have no conscience.
Terry, what about your love life?
Oh, non-existent at the moment.
Were you married at one stage?
Yeah, married at one stage. Yeah, years and years ago. But see, that's the occupational hazard too, which you do these things and you prepare and you know you're going to go to prison. Well, I had to, like the last one, I said, it's going to be years. You sadly got to go. She's in Japan now, but you had to, because don't expect them to hang around. Oh no, the unwashed in prison, they think the girl's going to hang around. It's horrible. The best thing is don't get a cell near a telephone because they're screaming and yelling, and you know what I mean? The love runs out rather quickly.
Well, they say, viewers, once the bills come through the door, love flies out the window,
Yes.
Yeah? So you had to be sort of pretty fluid and stuff, and when the authorities came knocking, how did you end up in different states all the time? So,
well, you'd wear your welcome out, say in Sydney, so you'd go to South Australia and Western Australia, and or you go elsewhere because you started to get known a bit too much. It was becoming a problem. I remember one day I went back when they didn't have the screens, and I just peered behind the counter, and there's my head up there with the teller. If you see this bloke, give us, contact the police.
So you moved state to state?
Yeah, I had a good operator, state to state.
Nice homes interstate as well? Similar to Oyster Bay?
Yeah, well, no, not as good as the one at Oyster Bay with all the bizzos.
No.
But also, too, we had what was called, we had Russian girls, too, that were good frontliners with the bank managers back in them days. Cock the leg and the bank manager would be doing anything. They got on a quid too, you know what I
They
mean?
work for you?
Yeah, they were in the fraud and they bowled out of the... No, just leave Australia.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, they were good lookers, you know. Yet again, it comes back to the old thing, you know, the money and the standing.
The banknotes
We
on
have
legs.
no conscience. So they would just manipulate them. They're easy to manipulate. The Russian girls, they speak their part English and do all that, and if something got stuck, me no understand, you know. That's how it all goes. But that's all finished now. Very, very, yeah, just relax to a degree.
What does the great man Terry Hunter do for fun now, for joy?
Oh, for joy. Pretty boring life now. I just go and fill my fat guts up with alcohol, grog, beer, have a drink, and food. That's it. And go to the beach. That's all I have. There's nothing much else out there, is there? No. I don't think. I mean, it's very hard these days. When you grew up in the 60s and you could drive drunk, you could do this, you could do that. All these things nowadays, trying to get cabs or something to somewhere, or take the risk on a train to be getting bashed or whatever, to go out for a night out, you just give it away.
Were you afraid when you went to jail? Each time you went to a new jail?
I'm not afraid.
Any fear?
No, not afraid. But you got to be a little bit alert because of the mental illness with the unwashed. Yeah, it's like Animal Town.
What do you think of this statement? Crime doesn't pay?
Yeah, no, I find that a bit difficult to accept.
Yes.
Yeah, but very hard. Yeah, very difficult to accept. And they're like laughing all the way to the bank. Well, our situation was the opposite, laughing all the way from the bank. It's but it does get you confused in the head too. You start going mad yourself. Mentally disturbed.
The dollars got no conscience.
No, dollars have got no conscience.
What did you, so the dollars no conscience, just finish off. So you got the dollars at that time, lots of dollars sometimes. What did you do to spend it?
Well, that wasn't real hard. You just restaurants, grog, up Gold Coast, Cairns, wherever it may be. Hawaii, if you weren't on any bails, you know.
What do you think of the movie The Wolf on Wall Street?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah,
Was that you?
Yeah, that was me. I'm proud of it. You know.
How old are you now, Terry?
How old? Oh, gee, I know I'm in my 70s. I'm 72. Yeah, 72 years old.
Thank you, sir, for coming on.
Yeah, no.
We'd put you in a suit, you'd make a good magistrate or judge. You know?
Yeah,
You know the system well.
I'm not saying their jobs are easy. I mean, dealing with it every day, but still, they're a bit out of whack. They need an education. I mean, a reality education. Throw them in a maximum security jail and see how they get on. You know what I mean? Then they might realise, yeah, this is a bit of a problem. That's all I say.
And viewers, big round of applause for Terry Hunter. He's authentic, he's real. You know, you might not like him, but I think he's a terrific fella and just an open book. Love and best wishes. We'll see you next week.
Like or love doesn't matter. Thank you. Okay.